Okay, it is currently 1:30 p.m. on March 11th, 2024. I've already captured day in and day out the presence of the light source, which is not possibly the sun, not only at this time, but when you are documenting what is the maintenance of, in capturing it, establishing that this is not the natural environment, that this is a light source in conformity to a pattern of conduct, then I've already shown you what is the presence of the light source at 1:25 p.m., which is the same timestamp where the entity is maintaining the light source over me in Harupa Valley, California. The light source is directly over my head. You also have the pattern of what is helicopters, okay, the profound phenomenon. That's a phenomenon in and of itself. Helicopters swarming around me in a very peculiar area, just to put it in layman's terms. All right, this is a pattern of conduct, and this is the entity that is engaged in what is group stalking. Group stalking occurs in a very specific environment amongst a group of people. That's why it's for the casual seamless engagement in what is stalking, in order that it appears as what is just everyday presence around people that you don't know, or people that you do know. That's why you have an environment around, so everybody is present, engaging in whatever they engage in while they are maintaining intentional presence and activity in that specifically designed environment, which is demonic. And so I just stepped out because I'm actually on my lunch, just as an aside. But like I said, I've already shown what is the presence and the impossible coexistence of a light source that would be, the sun. The light source, it's possible because I'm showing you what's an unnatural environment. So I want to be very specific with my language. It's impossible that the sun is hovering over me at 1:25 p.m. in Harupa Valley, California, at not just anywhere in Harupa Valley, but specifically at the property of Country Village Apartments. As I documented on March 11, 2021. And you also have in that video, I'm capturing the state that it's group stalking in a helicopter, which is amplified audible activity serving to accomplish the criminal elements of monitoring, and the specific environment that I also captured at Country Village, while the entity is also engaging in what is the amplification of helicopter activity, which is the communication of a threat. So that's the pattern of conduct underway in the workplace, all right? And so this is the entity, which is your employer, that is monitoring and group stalking you. So that's speaking to what is the application of these federal laws. While the entity is engaging in monitoring American citizens, it's going to be applicable to what is the workplace, where you are actually being employed by not individual companies, the people of the state. That is the state, the vicarious arm of the entity that is monitoring you, and you are literally on their payroll. So this is what's legally relevant there, and that's how that body of law is going to be informed by what an entity is doing in the state of California. So you have what 1:25 p.m. It's building 1806 where I'm standing, and this is the light source hovering over me, and you're looking at what is activity creation in the specific environment under the phenomenon, and this is the malicious engagement in the pattern of conduct right in your face. But this is, I want to be clear, this is grounds for what is federal prison, doing so with minors as well, and engaging in what is that pattern of conduct right underneath the light source, and doing so on behalf of an entity. So this is legally relevant for the entity that's going to be documented engaging in that malice. There is no sun that's present over my head at a building, and I want to be clear, 11:17 in the morning, I was outside of this window. Okay, this is non-movement of the light source, and this is unmistakable. This is also not beside building 1810. All right, this is how you know what is a psychopath who's group stalking and wants to appear as though they're just walking a dog. There is no just walking a dog and engineered light under the light source. Understand the mind state of the demon possessed. This is actually a picture of what is desperation and the highest form of malice, and this is speaking to why you are going to prosecute the people of the state as fiercely as you're going to. But like I said, at 1806 North Alvarado Street, I'm standing in front of the same apartment, that's mine on the 3rd floor, where you're seeing the light source hovering over my apartment as I capture it at 11:12, in order to give you another illustration of what's not possibly the sun anywhere at Harupa Valley, at Country Village Apartments. You have what is the light source, which remains right here over my head. It hasn't gone anywhere. Not only am I capturing it now, as you already saw it, I have already captured this because the entity goes absolutely nowhere with its light source, as it remains for the duration of the day. All right, and this is speaking to what is already captured as a matter of record. The entity is maintaining the light source in front of building 1806, because this is where I stand, and it's in its zenith directly over my head. And you also see what is the light activity that coexists with that. The entity is maintaining the light source, and you will get additional video later where the entity is maintaining, just as you've already seen day in and day out, remaining adjacent while I'm at work between 8 to 5. Adjacent to building 1810. So let's look at the analysis, the bigger picture. There is no sun that's over Harupa Valley Country Village Apartments. That was the light source hovering over my head, while Riverside Police, group stalking in a helicopter. And it's also legally relevant that they were doing it while the entity was my employer. All right, so this is federal group stalking and monitoring in the workplace. All right, you're going to in every way enforce the targeted individual's constitutional rights while it is being terrorized and monitored by a government who is engaging and targeting them in every area of their life. Okay, you are also looking at the entity that is maintaining the light source, and I'm keeping the camera here because the light source is right there. You already know it doesn't go anywhere. That's why it sets in alignment to me. So you have what is the maintenance of the light source over at Country Village Apartments, and this is going for the prosecution of the people of the state as I documented them by name, captured in images, capturing the specific environment, documented their names while they were engaged in what is federal group stalking and monitoring, terrorism and harassment in the workplace by an entity, and doing so in the specific environment at Country Village Apartments. There is no vantage point where the sun is going to be over my apartment building, where there's going to be any sunlight, like you already saw at 11:17 a.m. because you already know that the light source doesn't go anywhere for the duration of the day. You already know that the light source is right here over me in conformity to a well-established pattern. Where you capture the phenomenon doesn't cease to exist. The phenomenon is demonic in its nature also. And so I've shown you what is the malice of an environment that is witnessing its own exposure. And this is creating what is no less of an exposure and also the prosecution of the people who were monitoring me at Country Village Apartments. And they're going to pay dearly, not only civilly, but criminally. All right. And that's exactly what the Los Angeles Police Department and the people of the state are doing here at what is Alvarado Gardens. All of the people of the state live in relevant position. As far as the eye can see, as far as the camera lens can reach, that's relevant position. And that's directed light. There is no sunlight that would be over any of their properties. Okay. You see how lit that property? This is speaking to what is revealing the demonic. And the demonic has nothing to do with the natural environment. It is opening your mind and opening your eyes and broadening your mind to what is actually happening in the environment. And the environment is there for what's a actually criminal, highly malicious purpose. And it is operated literally in the United States. It has nothing to do with race, age, socioeconomic status. It is speaking to what is a matter of darkness. And that's speaking to what is demon possession, and there's no other way to put it. And this is darkness. I'm speaking to the freedom of religion, but actually this is criminal. So whether you are of any faith or whether you give credence to that or not, actually it's actually irrelevant, because what they're doing is actually criminal, and it's unethical, and it is wrong, and that is natural to know. So we don't even have to agree on any sort of specific faith. This is exposing what is darkness, and they are engaging in what is absolutely impossible to exist. The maintenance of the light source, as you see day in and day out, is present, as I've already established, and it's no different right here. The entity, you're understanding the demonic. 11:17 a.m. I'm showing you the light source right over my head while I stand on this. You're looking at light and my magnified shadow on the ceiling, all over the walls, the pattern of the blinds. While those blinds are closed, you have what's a light source that you can see hovering over my head, but yet you see light that's on the floor. The entity is maintaining engineered light on my ceiling in the nighttime. It has nothing to do with street lamps. It has nothing to do with the maintenance of the sun. You're looking at what is a very unintelligent illusion. I'm breaking that down for you. This specific environment was present at Country Village Apartments, and that illusion is present in what is Alvarado Gardens Apartments, where I'm subject to what is federal group stalking and monitoring in the workplace. But this is just a specific environment at this specific address where I live and work. Los Angeles, California is a specific environment. That's why I could go down to any third-party group stalker's street, stand by their car, and the light source, as you see it remaining adjacent to building 1810, it won't be over there anymore. It'll be over my head at that address. And there is no natural environment where it looks like it's over there, where the person over there has the sun and its zenith over their head in the same way that it's over my head and its zenith over here. No. And that's what the entity is engaging in, the impossible. The state of Florida never gets any sunlight based on the operation of the natural environment, based on what the entity has been documented as engaging in. Okay? It is currently, by the way, 1:40 p.m. This is the pattern of conduct as I'm exposing it. And of course you're not going to be deceived, because I've already shown you what is the malice of the demon possessed. And you have what is full exposure of an entire criminal system, as I give you just another vivid illustration of what is absolutely impossible to happen at the same time. And literally the pattern of group stalking in helicopters. This is speaking to terrorism that's happening in the United States. Okay, how far are we from what they are doing to people in third world countries? It's not far at all. Okay, you're talking about something that's supposed to be a secret, and it's not a secret at all, and it's shameful. And I'm going to be clear. Honestly, I'm not overjoyed. First of all, I'm not overjoyed because I'm subject to it. But second of all, I'm not overjoyed because this is my own government. I studied the law. I studied political science. I am a firm believer in actually constitutionalism. Okay, so it is dismaying to me, and I don't think that it's good that as an American citizen, it's something that I'm telling the world about my own country. I think it weakens our stance, nationally speaking. There's a whole lot that I think about that. It does not bring me joy to do it, but it is a matter of justice, and also in people's individual lives, you need to understand what's going on around you. All right, this is the demonic. It is not, you're speaking to what is a real-time alteration of the environment. The light source is still over my head. It goes nowhere, and you've also seen that already. The entity maintains the light source over me from the beginning of the day to the end of the day. It is also the phenomenon while the entity is rising the sun at 6:30 in the morning, and it is still here, as you saw it as I stepped out, that it is still here hovering over my window at 11 o'clock, anytime within the 11 o'clock hour. The sun is in constant movement. Constant movement. It would be nowhere here if this was the natural environment, okay? This is why you are understanding things such as daylight savings time, climate control. Okay, these are illusions. These are fallacies, okay? That's speaking about the operation of the natural environment. So you're given explanations as to what is going on in the environment. There's nothing natural about it. The demonic is real. The demonic has a real life impact on the environment around us. And so this is speaking to the reality of that which is spiritual. Spiritual is invisible, okay? And I'm going to digress from there, because I'm not standing at a pulpit preaching to anybody. All right, this is the pattern of conduct as it exposed. It's 1:42 p.m. and this is P.O.C.